How y'all doing? Good morning. I just wanted to say that it's hard to maintain a personal connection with somebody and a serious connection with somebody that involves knowing them for who they are and their interests and their hobbies, their likes, their dislikes, etc., etc. If you're already initiating sexual acts with one another. If you've just met within 5-6 months and you've already had sex with the person that you've just met, yeah, you have friends that you've had for years and years that you've found just as attractive that you have never tried, that just shows the lack of respect you have for the new individual. A lot of people think it's not disrespectful to sexualize or be sexually attracted to somebody. They think that it's just natural to be sexually attracted to a person, blah, 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 and that because of that sexual attractiveness, they can either act on it or not. Some choose to, some choose not to, but regardless, if you're sexualizing someone, you're still doing the same action, whether or not you go through with it or not. So, take that with a grain of salt, I guess. If your whole goal in a relationship is to lead to sex, ultimately, you're probably not in the relationship for the right reasons. If you feel like you need something sexual in a relationship, you're probably in a relationship for the wrong reasons. You've probably learned the wrong methods of being in a relationship. The purpose of a relationship, and this is not an opinion, this is just what it is, it's for togetherness. We have friendship and we have relationships. Friendships are a relationship. Friendships should be the foundation of any romantic relationship. And then beyond everything that you can do with a friend in a relationship, I feel like the only thing that you would really have to add is the way you act when they're not around. So if you have a friend and you're not entitled to your friend, or or you're not necessarily like being blocked by anything you do, you're not being coerced into living any certain way, doing anything that you want to do won't necessarily disrespect your friend. However, there's a whole bunch of different activities once you're in a relationship that you shouldn't do or shouldn't indulge in, because at the end of the day, if you really want your partner and you want your partner for an extended period of time, your partner must trust you with security in themselves. Now, if it's strictly based off of, all right, let's say you lack trust in y'all's relationship, and that's strictly off of some, I don't know, circumstantial issues, like girls bringing up drama. I don't know, you saw he liked a picture 12 weeks ago. I don't know, anything. If it's anything involving the internet or social media, do not take it serious. Do not take it serious if it involves anybody else in your problems. Do not take it serious if it involves just verbal acts, okay? Because at the end of the day, it's easier to correct behavior over something you didn't like that didn't lead to anything than it is to move on to someone new and expect them to be completely different. Because it's a small world, and the world's just getting smaller. And every day, there's a new person encouraged by the same basic media that just glorifies, the way the relationship standard is now. You date, you go on dates, you have sex, and then y'all get together. That's not how it should be. I believe that I'm not necessarily going to even put my belief system for my actual core beliefs into why, but I just feel like if sex is important, all right, so sex can be important in a relationship that's established, i.e. married. I mean, even if you've dated for extended periods of years, if you're serious about somebody, you should want to marry them. The act of marrying someone is just to prove that they're yours and you're theirs forever, and the goal is for forever. Like, if you're not satisfied with that, then I don't think that you should be having sex with your temporaries. There are so many methods of, I'm just gonna say masturbation, man. There's so many methods of sex toys. There's so many videos to watch. I'm not saying that you should encourage porn or anything like that, because I really think porn is toxic. But if you spend every single time that you had sex just watching porn, so let's say you were having sex for 20 minutes to an hour, and you just converted all of that time into watching porn every single time you've had sex, you would really see how vile and disgusting you've been with the people that you no longer associate with in that manner. Now you realize that you're giving yourself in the most intimate light and the most vulnerable light to people who are probably going to be strangers for now the rest of your life. And that's so risky. That, like, what is the point? I would rather be told that I could spend the rest of my life with someone and they have herpes than to be ducking and dodging and guessing and just having sex frivolously with anybody in the hopes that they don't have herpes. Like, because at the end of the day, you can ask people, have they been tested, and they will literally tell you no. And then, or you could ask them, have they been tested, and they said yes last year or something. At the end of the day, STDs, they come like the seasons. Oh my gosh, STDs are forever. You can't ultimately deny the fact that an STD is inevitable if you just live a life where you're just having sex and moving on, because I'm telling y'all, these personal relationships are really going to save you in the end. The personal relationships are what mold you into being better people and having better character towards other individuals, even if they're strangers. Sexualizing is only going to make you want to see the attractive girl in the room. Sexualizing is only going to want you to see the potential of a body and not necessarily the potential of the mind. You're not necessarily going to learn anything from somebody you're already wanting to pursue in a sexual route, because now you're going to be engulfed with those thoughts. Even if it's something minuscule, and you have if you have a fetish and you like feet, okay, I'm not about to come for you, but listen, if you're just constantly asking girls for feet pictures, all right, now that's a different sexual area. But at the end of the day, if you're just making them an object connected to some feet that you're ultimately wanting to look at, you're being disrespectful to them. Like, in their whole entirety, them as a human being has been demoted. Whenever all we do in this American culture is glorify being grown and glorify touching, that's the worst combination, because once you're grown, your touching is bound by the other person's permissions. And if they're willing to give you permission to touch, you're going to automatically assume that it's not wrong to do. But if somebody gave me permission to do meth with them, that doesn't make it a right action. If somebody gave me permission to stab their child, that does not make it a right action. And both of those are extremes, and you know that they're wrong. And you know that they're wrong in their context, in their proper context. So no, sex isn't wrong, but sex in the context of just sexualizing someone and having sex with them, and then ultimately y'all becoming strangers and not talking again, is definitely wrong. And if you disagree, you can drop some comments. I'll respond to these. I'll look for them. It'll probably be in about 2-3 weeks, but I'll look for comments if somebody's gonna reply and tell me that they disagree and tell me why. Because at the end of the day, like, I want to hear other people's opinions too. I'm not necessarily God, and I say necessarily because I believe that I have Jesus in my heart, and I believe that I have a godlike power to breathe, because there's billions and billions of people that don't have that power. I believe I'm blessed, but I'm not ever going to force my beliefs to make a narrative for why I believe something is wrong. I don't think sex is wrong because the Bible says that you need to wait till marriage. I think that the wait till marriage rule exists because people are wrong when it comes to sex. And I hope that if you feel vulnerable in your relationship or your partnership or your whatever you are with the person you're with, and y'all are having sex but y'all aren't talking about a future, I hope that you escape that situation. Because there's been times where I've been involved in situations where we talked about a future and we had those acts, but now that those futures are gone and those acts still existed, it's like, for what? For what? So, I don't know. Y'all have a good one.